I'm a military kid, so we lived a lot of places, so I got really good at being the new kid at school. And growing up, I was in the performing arts. Mostly musical theater and dance and ballet and all of that. And when I was 19, I was in a pretty terrible car accident, which messed up my knees and kind of ended my performing career. And so I kind of floundered for a little while. I was an undergrad for 9 years, trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do. And I knew something creative was going to be in my world, because it always had been, but you know, trying to find something new. And I kind of fell into photography by accident. My undergrad degree is in education and English, and my senior year of undergrad, I decided to take some art classes because I had elective space to fill. And I took a photo class, and that very first time I saw a print emerge from the chemicals in the darkroom, it was over. It was done. Made that painful phone call to my parents telling them that, you know, hey, this degree I just got, I'm doing something new. And I spent a couple years working on a portfolio to do my graduate studies in photography. And I knew very quickly I didn't want to shoot weddings or work for a client. And so that kind of led me to fine art and to going back to the original education and teaching. And I started teaching here at St. Francis right out of grad school. And I've been here 18 years. Wow. The darkroom has never gotten old for me, and I continue to be an analog photographer, meaning I use film, I shoot, I develop, I do my own things. I've also come to specialize in 19th century processes, which are the original photo processes. I shoot a 1947 Graflex press camera. It's a 4x5, which means the negative itself is 4 inches by 5 inches, which allows for you to have a bigger print, retaining all that value. But it's also very important to me because the camera is about the same age as my mom and dad, so there's that connectivity to it. The work I do now is about my family. The year I started graduate school, both of my grandmothers were diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. And during graduate school, I started making some photographs to try to be therapy, to work through my feelings about that. And that was the beginning of this work that's going to be on display here at the library. This work is called Legacy Alzheimer's Stories, and they are kind of based on my family and the fact that in most families, what we know about them is an oral tradition. You know, it's just stories that are told from one generation to the next, and how when Alzheimer's comes into play, that stops, or at least there's a part of it that dead ends because those stories end. And so I've been at, you know, any relative I can think of, I've asked questions and asked them to tell me stories about both of my grandmas, and we've scored through dozens and hundreds and thousands of photographs, trying to kind of build narratives about who they were, as well as who I am and who my family is, my mom and my sister, my dad, based on who they were. You know, everything from hereditary arthritis to being able to sing or not to sing. And you know, all of those things we get from our family. And so this work is about that. They're self-portraits, many of them, but it's not because I want to see pictures of myself. It's because, as I tell my students, you know, you are available whenever you need you. And often you're the one who's going to know what you want out of an image, and I know what I need. And so that therapy is coming into play. And in most of them, you wouldn't even know they were me anyway. But I become the conduit to being able to tell the stories. I'm not in all of them. Some of them are more still life based, based on objects. You know, one of the coolest things about an old object is the minute you see it, it brings back memories, whether it's the actual object that was yours or if it just reminds you of that thing. And so, so that's become a big part of this work as well. For this exhibit here at the Allen County Public Library, I'm also adding text. So a way to tell stories a little bit, and some of them are actual stories. I have a story about chickens that my mom always tells, and I've made a piece about that. And others are just about kind of archetypes of being Southern, Both of my parents are from Oklahoma, but I did most of my formative years in Georgia. And so I definitely consider myself to be a Southern woman and my whole family to be Southern. And there are a lot of Southern things that are indicative of a Southern family. You know, everything from sweet tea to hanging laundry on a line, you know, things that are very, very Southern in their approach. And I've touched on those as well. I'm super excited about this show. This is the first time that the entirety of this work, and this work is 20 years, that I've shown it all together at once. So I'm really excited about the show that's going to be here because it will be an opportunity to see all of it. It's shown in pieces, in small chunks over the last 20 years, but this is the first time it's showing together. And my hope is that after this show that it continues to show together and that I can travel it a little bit and kind of open up that dialogue. My hope is that people will see this work and it makes them think of their own families, and maybe they start asking those questions and start learning those stories, those things that you can put in your pocket so that, because those people aren't going to be with us forever, and you want those stories to carry on.